What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rebirth Podcast. I want you to like, share, and subscribe tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk to my mother. We titled the show God's Plan, and it's really a journey between a mother and her son, and what unconditional love feels like. So please go to Rebirth U podcast or Rebirth Podcast, like, share, and subscribe, and come check out the show. We're going to have a good time tonight. Peace.
Out of the ashes we will soar to a destiny we can't ignore. Heartbeats echo through the night with every dream and endless flight. Together strong, let's break the mold. Our rebirth and stories told. It's time to renew, rebuild, restore. Unlock the dreams we've been waiting for. Rise up higher, more and more. With every breath, a new dawn's roar.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rebirth Podcast. My name is Corey, aka The Thinker. Usually you have somebody introducing the show, but she's not here. So it's just me, myself, and I. So hopefully y'all rock out with me for the next hour or so. But tonight's show, we're going to talk about God's plan and what unconditional love sounds like and feels like between a mother and her son. Definitely a special guest is about to come on the show for me. This is about 40 years in the making, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you, we probably tried to rehearse this 1,000 times, questions, what we talking about, what we're not going to talk about. But what we just decided to do is just have a conversation and give y'all a sneak peek on what it's like to just for peeking into our conversation between me and my mother. But shout out to Shay. She's not feeling well tonight, but I hope she gets better. So send y'all prayers and well healing to her. She was just down here saying hello. But we want to definitely make sure that she's feeling better. But tonight it's going to be me and Miss Marilyn Goodman. So we're going to have her come on. But before we do that, please make sure that you go like, share, and subscribe to Rebirth. It means all the world to us. Make sure that you are following us for all the shows that we have coming up. And to definitely make sure that we get this content out to everybody for more continued viewership and the things that we're going on doing for the rest of 2026. So please like, share, and subscribe now. But without further ado, I want to welcome to the show my mother. So I met my mother at age 40. I'm 44 now. And what I can tell you is that it was life-changing for me. I'm sure she will definitely tell you how life-changing it was for her. And in 48 hours, how I felt about myself, how I felt about love, how I felt about just life overall immediately changed. And I set forth a journey of just what that was going to feel like for the rest of my life, honestly, really, for her and for myself. So she can't wait to talk to y'all. When I asked her to do the show, I was like, you want to do this pre-recorded or you want to do it live? She's like, no, we're going to do it live. So, without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce everybody to Miss Marilyn Goodman, aka my mother. Hello.
Hey, son.
How are you?
I'm good.
You good?
Yes,
You good?
sir.
Now, quick question. Is that your hand holding that?
It is.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Now we see you. You might be a little shy.
Never.
You might be a little shy. Well, welcome to Rebirth. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Now, there's already 21 people watching. Don't get nervous. All right.
Not
I
at
want you
all.
to say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
All right. So welcome to Rebirth Podcast. I know this is not your first time seeing Rebirth. I know you watch all the time. You definitely came to one of the live shows. I think it was 2 years ago now. You came to the live show and I shouted you out. You stood up, said hello to everybody.
Yes.
Right. So everybody kind of knows about you. Everybody kind of knows of you. But we're going to get to know you a little bit more tonight and get to know us a little bit tonight. You cool with that?
I'm cool.
All right. So you in good hands with your son. I was gonna
I
say
know
all
that.
state, but it ain't all state. All right. So again, welcome to the show. So talk to us about who Marilyn Goodman is. I know a lot, but everybody else doesn't know, right? So I wanted you to introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? Where was you born? Don't tell anybody that you a Washington Redskins Commanders
Redskins.
fan. No, no,
Yeah,
no, no. Nobody
absolutely.
needs to know
Absolutely.
that. That you're not a Knicks fan. They don't need to know that either, right?
Spurs all the way.
And you definitely I don't know, you're not a Michael Jackson or a Prince fan, I think it was, right?
Not even Drake.
Not even Drake is crazy. Anyway, we gonna deal with that later. We gonna deal with that
Yes.
later. So Mimi's watching, Nicole's watching. Say hello to them.
Hey, daughters.
So my sister's watching. Hello, y'all. So talk to us about who you are, where you from, what has shaped you as a woman. I know you talked. I asked you this question the other day. You were like, "I'm still being shaped," so I'm sure you're gonna get into a little bit of that. But let's talk to you about who Marilyn Goodman is.
Uh, Well, Marilyn Goodman grew up in it, was born and raised in the city, the great city of Atlantic City.
Mm,
I went to all schools here in Atlantic City, graduated from Atlantic City High School, attended Rutgers University, and I played basketball in at Atlantic City High. In my senior year, they had just started basketball for women, and believe it or not, I never wanted to go to college. I wanted to play professional basketball, but women's basketball was just beginning at that time.
mhm.
So, and then I did not want to leave my mom and go all the way to California, but that has always been my desire to play professional basketball. So when I see the women out there playing now, it's the greatest.
Now you played professional. I mean, you wanted to play basketball. You played basketball, right?
Yes, yes.
But like, did you play basketball or were you nice in basketball? Because there's a picture of you playing basketball, a picture of me playing basketball, and I think you felt like you could give me a run for my money. I don't know about that, but you definitely talked about you playing basketball. Talk to me about like how you play basketball. Why you pick
From
basketball of all sports?
from fourth grade, I
Uh huh.
found this basketball hoop for Christmas. They hid it under the bed, and I found it. I had basketball. I bled basketball. So when I tell you I was nice, they called me Merle the Pearl. And you're probably
Okay.
not old enough to know about Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Monroe.
But
He's a Nick, right?
man, come on. I'm
Okay.
just telling you,
Yeah.
Maryland, I averaged 41 points a game. I had my
41
team
points.
not even talking to me because I was like, just give me the ball, just give me the ball. I got this, I got this. But hey, listen, um, I'm nice. I after school at the schoolyard, my brother and I would go over there. I was like, yo, I'm going to the store, pick my brother, because he never got picked first. They always pick me. But yeah, I was nice.
You was nice. Okay. Okay. All right. So talk about your siblings, right? So yeah, definitely Uncle Charlie's a character,
Yeah,
right?
yes.
Uncle Charlie's a character, so he definitely told me a lot of good stories in a short period of time. We definitely gotta I gotta sit down for some more of those conversations. But
Yes.
talk to me about how growing up with how many siblings did you have? Do
Four.
you have and talk to me about your siblings and what 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 number are you?
I had four siblings and I was number four. And my younger sister Penny is 8 years younger than me. I had my oldest brother, Richard, who has now passed away in 2011. I have my sister Gail, who's about to turn 80 years old. And my brother Charles, of course, he's like my twin. We look alike, we talk alike. I can finish his sentence, he can finish my sentence. Um, and then there's me. Y'all can guess how old I am. I've never been ashamed, so I'm going to let y'all know I am 73 years old, about to be 74 in October. And then Penny is the youngest.
See, they gave you a round of applause for the 73. See, they gave you a round of applause. That was for the 73. I don't know if that was for the basketball or the 73, but
All
you
of the
know,
above.
all of the cool, 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 cool. So talk to me like about Atlantic City. So you said the great city of Atlantic City. I'm sure you think that's better than New York City. I beg to differ.
Well,
But let's
Well,
talk
you
about
know, Atlantic City was always a resort town. It summer was it for Atlantic City. But our current mayor always says the great city of Atlantic City. So I'm using his words, and he
okay.
is in fact trying to bring it back. But and I also worked for the city of Atlantic City for 23 years, retiring as the director of licensing at age 52.
Okay. Okay. I didn't even ask you about your career. So talk to me about your work career. When did
Uh,
you start working? Because I feel like everybody
I've
in
been
y'all
working since
age
I
group
was
started.
I've been
Watch 4 years old, something like that. Y'all been working
I
since y'all was
started
4.
working when I was 12.
See what I'm saying?
Somebody lied on my working papers because I was a big girl. Because you can't work till you 14, but I worked at the Steel Pier flipping hamburgers at age 12.
Age 12. What they pay you at age 12 back then?
Oh, I don't. I can't even. I really don't know. But that was fun. Yeah, I mean, you know, it was good because you got to see all the stars, the Temptations, Four Tops, all that came to the pier, the Supremes, whoever. So it had its perks.
Okay. Okay.
And then I worked for at 16, I actually started working for New Jersey Bell, which is now, you know, it was the telephone company. That was the best job ever. I was making $600 a week at age 16.
At age 16.
At age 16. At age 16, my parents gave me the cable bill to pay. $37.50 at
How much was it?
16. 37.50. 37.
$37.50. Listen,
Yeah.
I
Now
wish
I
the
wish,
cable
yes,
bill.
I'd pay the whole city's cable bill.
Yeah,
But that
30.
was supposed to teach me responsibility. I don't know that I got that though then. Mhm.
Okay. Okay. But like so they gave you the cable bill. So I think that was how I was raised too. Like you get a bill or you get
Yeah.
responsibility at a young
Yes.
age. So
Yes.
talk to me about your parents and your upbringing. Like how was that for you? You were the baby, right?
I was a baby for 8 years. Yes.
You were the baby for you. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, my upbringing, and you know, I was fortunate to have my mother and father in the household. Middle class. But you couldn't tell that we were middle class because we had the best of everything. Definitely had some swag with dress, had long hair, you know. I was president of our social club in Atlantic City. I kind of was like running things for real, for
All
real.
right.
I'm not
You
bragging. I'm just, you asked me to have dialogue. I'm just giving you dialogue, son.
all right. You
Oh,
you 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 was running things. All right. Tell us how you was running things.
hey, listen, to this day, it still has to go through me. It still has to go through me.
Yeah, it's funny. You
But
know,
my
and I
parents, you know,
uh,
my father was a farrier. He made mink coats and stoves and that kind of stuff. That was his trade. Um, and when it was good here, it was good here. And then he was commuting to Philadelphia. He even commuted to New York as that industry was dying. But and my mother, she didn't work until my younger sister went to kindergarten. She was a housewife. So but I think that I had a great upbringing. Every household has something going on, but we live and was fortunate to live on what they considered the west side. West side was the best side. I
Okay.
would not
So
have wanted to grow up anywhere else other than, to this day, those that grew up in that area, we stay in touch. If something goes down, we are still there. Like we've never left. Very, very knit. And my mother, I take after her. I take after her. I look like her. And she too was like, if Miss Goodman said it, believe it.
take it to the bank.
Absolutely,
Take it to the bank.
absolutely.
Now you said you take after your mom, my grandmom. What does that mean for you, right? So like what I do know, what I definitely know to take it to the bank that everybody in it, I know in Atlantic City for sure, almost New Jersey, and you might have a plug in every state on the East Coast, right? But you very popular. Everybody knows you or knows of you. If they don't know you, they know one of the kids. But y'all are popular. So when you talk about how does that connect with you and you and mom and how did you take after her?
Well, I kind of I always wanted to make my mom proud, and through life, and every job that I had, I I tried to do it with dignity, um, and make my parents proud. Um, you know, she was just the lady in this city, and there was nothing that you could do as a kid, uh trying to get it, let's say, getting in trouble, that she didn't know before you got home, because everybody knew my mother. You could not do anything. But in terms, I didn't say I am. At 73 years old, if I could be half the woman that my mother was, I'm good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. So we heard a lot about you, right?
Yes.
What is one of the things that you would say that you most proud of yourself just growing up, or what are your fondest memories growing up? I know you talked about flipping burgers and paying the cable bill and some of those different things, but what are some of the things that you're most proud of just growing up when you look back those moments, those memories?
Whew. Um, I can't pinpoint one thing, but I want to say that just surviving, I'm proud of. With the girls,
Mm-hmm.
I put them through a lot growing up,
Hmm.
and it was not easy. Motherhood, the definition is, I guess, the female that gives birth, but that doesn't make you what other people see as a mom. And my daughter Kamisha and I have talked about mom versus mommy, and I know that there's, to be called mommy is a lot, is different than, and it took me a minute to get there.
Hmm.
I'm at 73 years old. I'm still learning how to be a mother. And clearly, when you and Derek came into my life almost 4 years ago, it was life changing. God is real, people. Those that are listening, God is real. Taste and see.
Well, we gonna get into that. Me
Okay.
and Derek over there, right?
Yeah.
Um, but one more thing about yourself. So, like, what was your were you like party? Did you like the party? Did you just straight work? Were you just dedicated to the school and your books? Was you
No.
at Studio
N-
54?
n-
Um, you do any of that?
Now, party, I would go to the parties. Um, but I definitely couldn't dance unless it was a slow drag, if y'all know what that is
That's
at your
so
age.
trash.
But when I could only go if my brother Charlie was going, and he and
Okay.
I would go out together, split up, and get back together before we go back to the house.
Okay. Okay.
But I was at there were certain places I definitely was not allowed to go and never went there, never even tried to go.
Uh-huh.
And if there was a curfew and I missed my curfew, and a couple times I might have missed it on purpose because it was so far from home, I knew that if I did not get home on time, my mother, who did not drive, would wake my father up and come and get me. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, let me wait for a ride, not go home. And folks would wait with me, let me get a ride home. But so party, books, I wasn't all that bad with the books. It was demanded in my household.
Yeah. 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 So you got a few comments in here, right? So we got a lot of people watching, but we got a few comments in here. So I think that's Uncle Charlie said when I guess when I asked, what one of your proudest moments, he said going to college.
Well, it was because again, I probably didn't even apply to college until almost May because I knew I wanted to play ball. So
Right.
that was and when I tell you my brother, my mother didn't want me to have a driver's license. She didn't want me to have an afro. I couldn't have my ears pierced. I, Charlie had to come from Howard University to take me to get my driver's license. I failed it the first time. He came back the following Friday because that was the behind the wheel test to make sure that I passed that test.
That's funny. Um, you said you couldn't have an afro.
Couldn't I came home the first weekend when I first went away to college, and my mother called a cab and sent me straight to the hairdressers. Couldn't have an afro. Couldn't get my ears pierced. No, no.
Well, look, I couldn't grow an afro. I don't think I wanted one, right? And I couldn't get my ears pierced either. So we got that in common too. That wasn't allowed. That wasn't allowed for me when I was younger. All right. So see, Tahira's on. She says, "Hey, love y'all." Mimi said, "Facts, you were very popular. We know that's the truth." She said, "You
Yeah,
telling the truth about it, baby." You know how she talks.
yeah.
Nikki's on here. She says hello. Smooth
How
is
you
on here. He
doing?
said, "Hey, Mom G."
Who's that?
Smooth.
Oh, okay, okay.
He just got
Oh, he
a
got
new
AJ
Patriot today.
Brown. He
Yeah, he
got
got AJ Brown
AJ
today.
Brown.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know he happy.
Yeah, yeah.
You know he happy. Cool. So when you think about just your growing up and you just transitioning into a woman, what was that like for you? Right. So when you get out of the house, now you're breaking out on your own. You in college. What was life like for you while you was in college?
Well, my freshman year, I was pregnant with Nicole. Then Nicole went to college before she went to kindergarten
Mm,
because I continued school, and my entire floor watched her while I went to class, and then that got to be a little much. It wasn't much for my friends because they had my back, but I think what happened was over the weekend, wherever you supposed to put the trash, the diapers piled up, and somebody snitched and said there was a kid staying there. So Nicole, in fact, went to New York and stayed with my brother during the week, and I would go there on the weekends. So, I was a mother at 19 and didn't know how to be a mother. I never liked to smoke, but sometimes you sitting there having a cocktail and you holding that cigarette, and it was cigarettes then were like 75 cents a pack. It was either buy a pack of cigarettes or buy that case of Similac for $24. Just $24. That was back then. But or in a case of Pampers, cigarettes out, done. So I kind of grew up with the help of my older brother. He and his wife watch Nikki for me during the week, and I would go into New York on the weekends.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Nikki, she's still going to college.
Yeah,
She's still going to college.
yeah,
She's still
yeah,
going to college.
yes.
Mishi's on here too. She says, "Hey, mommy."
Hi, baby.
So you talked about obviously growing up. You talked about being in school. You talked about just transitioning your night in your day life. Your dream of playing basketball. You ran the city. You was 42 points a game and all of those things, right? So
Yes,
as you transition into again adulthood, right? There came me and Derek,
yes,
right? And talk to us about what that was like for you, right? So obviously, we separated for a period of time, right?
yes.
And our lives went in different paths. And talk to us about what that was like for you, the times and that, not necessarily around the decision, but just really around what life was like around that time for you. I mean, obviously going in school and things like that, but what was life like for you around that time?
Well, first of all, my mom had cancer, and I was
Okay.
taking care of her. Um, and actually, she did pass in 1978, so that goes in with kind of when Derek was born. But so it was a scary time for me,
Sure.
and I had Nicole, and I really wasn't, we were barely getting it, making it happen. So I want to think that the decision that I made was, little do I know, God had already knew what was going to happen before I knew it was going to happen. Like right now, today, right here on this phone, this was predestined. And
Okay.
but the decisions that I made wasn't made lightly for sure. Um, but as I look back, if I had to make that decision today, it would never have happened. It would never have happened. Um, um, and the fact of the girls and you guys, are you still there?
Yeah, we're here. I see you.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
the fact that the girls and we've talked, all of us have talked, we talk daily or
Yeah.
text daily, and Tamika, especially when she you and her, when y'all write, oh my God, the heartbreak that I put upon the five of you, I would not want anyone to bear that pain. Everybody has their reasons why they do what they do, and they are valid for them. What I did was valid for me at the time, but certainly if if I had it to do again, it would never have happened. And I'm not trying to talk anybody out of it. Believe me. But you guys, you bond so well. We often talk about how you and Derek would fit in, and
Yeah.
who would protect you. And Mimi, of course, she's gonna follow you wherever you go. If you jumped off the roof, she's gonna jump off the roof. If somebody do so, and Derek, he and Nicole, being the oldest, they gonna cover for everybody. You
I
know,
don't know about that with Derek. I don't know. I feel like Derek wants to teach you. He may cover, but I feel like Derek may try to teach you a lesson. Like there's a lesson. Eventually, you're gonna have to stop doing what you're doing. But Nikki got us. Nikki gonna cover us. She gonna close the window,
to the
the door,
grave,
to
to
the
the
grave.
grave.
She's she's definitely loyal to the soil for sure. Derek is too, but Derek wants you to learn the lesson.
Yeah,
You know what I
and I
mean? Derek may
and
leave the door. to crack
Yeah.
open a little bit. So
And
yeah, we're
Kamisha's the
gonna talk.
grandma in
Yeah,
it all. She's gonna find the logic in everything.
yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. But
But
yeah, I think that you made an excellent point, right? When you talked about just the decision when it comes to adoption, right? And I think that is a personal decision. You think about the world that we're in today, where those rights and things like that are being put on stage for others to make a decision for women, and how powerful it is for a woman to have the right to make the decision for herself, and for families to have the right to make the decision for what makes sense for them. And I think we've talked about that in length, and how important that decision is. And like you said earlier, right? Like, I'm not here to make a decision for you or tell you what you should do, but I think it's important that we make sure that those decisions are personal to the family, the
yes,
woman, um, and the parents. You know what I mean. So I think that you made a powerful statement. And even back then, right? I don't think that changes just based off of year, right? So
yes.
whether it's 81, 2026, it doesn't matter. I think it's a definitely a personal decision. So I thank you for sharing that. And what I want you to know as your son, and I can speak for probably Derek as well, is that we love you, and nothing has changed, or we feel any type of way about that. I what I will say is that you're right inside of the what God wanted to happen happened, and it happened for a reason, right?
Yes.
And the bond that we have as a family today, like you said, we talk all day, every day, honestly, whether not necessarily on the phone, we definitely in a group text somewhere chatting. Every morning we started off with prayer, or a prayer, and we just cut up throughout the whole day. Like, I don't know how we get work done, but
Yeah.
um we definitely try to do that. So we got a couple of other comments. Yes, Mimi agrees with me on Derek. Loyal to the soil, Kamisha said. That's probably about her. And well, all of y'all are really loyal, for real, for real. I definitely can't tell you that you're not. You definitely are loyal for real. So I definitely appreciate that. And somebody said in a comment earlier, you definitely was one of Atlantic City's finest. So
Thank you.
I give that to you.
I still had an eye though. I may not have. I can't run. Just get me the ball. I got that.
Yeah, we definitely watched a couple of playoff series together, especially
Yes.
women's
Yes.
basketball. Yeah,
Yes.
when that comes
Yes.
around, we definitely always locked in, for sure, for sure. So the next segment I want to kind of talk about is obviously when we all connected, right?
Yes.
So you go back, was it 3 years, 4 years ago? 3 years ago, 4 years ago,
Three and a half.
3.5 years ago.
October will be 4.
October will be 4. You were 70 years old, right?
Yes.
What a birthday gift. What a surprise for number one.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I don't know if we'll be able to ever make up for that, right? But talk to us about what that was like for you. Number one, I guess really finding out that me and Derek found you guys. Do you
Yes.
remember what that conversation was like, or where you were when you? That probably was the face you made, just like that. But
It
you,
was, no, I do remember. I remember Kamisha, we were going to dinner.
okay?
She had come here and it was just she and I in the car. And I was backing up and she's like, hold up, hold up, hold up. And she said to me, Mom, we know. I said, you know what? She said, we know, and it's all right. I said,
Mhm,
what is it that you know? And she went on and said about the boys. We know that you gave our brothers up for adoption. And what I didn't know when she said that to me
mhm,
was that you guys were even boys. I chose not to find out. And when she said that, I just kind of cried because believe me when I tell you, they will tell you, anybody that knows me will tell you, I always wanted a little boy. And maybe it was because of my basketball. You know, I was a
Maybe.
tomboy growing up for sure.
Hmm.
And there weren't that many girls in my neighborhood, so I did boy things, mostly. Yeah, if I wanted to play, that's what I had to do. I couldn't jump double dutch or any of that, so whatever. But so back to that story. So when she said that, we proceeded to the restaurant and all that, and had dinner. And it was just that everybody's crying, and we went over to Tamika's house, and just hugged each other, and it was just a beautiful. And I just think that I must have lost 100 pounds that day.
Hmm.
Um, but when I met you guys on in Florida, because I had asked the girls, we need to take a trip, just all of us together. And at that point, what I didn't know is that you and Derek were going to show up. And Derek came the night before, and that was amazing. And you came the next day, actually on my birthday, and everybody was somewhere in the house. Nobody could answer the door. So who had to go to the door? Me.
Yeah.
And when I opened the door, I just we just kind of embraced. I have the picture. I will never ever. Here's the picture of us. I don't know if everybody can see it, but I have yours as well as Derek's on my fireplace. So it was you said happy birthday, and I was like, yo, I just can't. This is just life changing. It was amazing, and it's been amazing ever since.
Yeah, I would agree. So like let me give a little backstory to how we even got to that moment, right? So like obviously for me, this has been something that I have wrestled with my entire life, right? And when I say wrestle, it's just always imagining what you were like, what you look like. Were you tall? Were you short? Was your hair long? Did you have an afro? Maybe you didn't have an afro, right? Did you live in New York City? Did you not live in New York City? Um, and I never sat in a space of like the why piece around it. I just really wanted to know who you were, right? And I think it got to the place where I want to say I gave up. I just felt like it was never going to come to pass, right? And I remember growing up, like people would just ask me certain times, like, "Hey, so like, did you ever think about finding your mom? Did you ever think about finding your mom?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but like, that's the stuff that you see on TV. Like, that just don't happen, right?" And I think as I've gotten older, I was blessed to, well, even younger, right? I was blessed to be raised by Shirley Wilkerson, who raised me and loved on me, and my dad loved on me, and my brothers and my sisters loved on me, my nieces, just the whole family, right? Like,
Yes.
you know, um, so I didn't know no different, to be honest with you, until somebody brought it up, right? And when somebody would bring it up, again, like I said, it was something that I dreamed about and I thought about, but I never really talked about it so much out loud until I got older, right? And then obviously, I was married, had kids, right? And those things start to become more of a reality. But where do you even go to find somebody? Right? Like what does that look like? Right? Social media was just kind of like starting. I never thought, like, I didn't have your name. I didn't even know your name or where to even start. So um, you know, how it started, at least for me and Derek, was there my girlfriend at the time bought me an ancestry kit. Because why else would I want one, right? Like maybe that's a thing, right? So he bought me an ancestry kit. I send it away. It comes back, and it's tedious, right? You load it into your phone, and you got to do this, and it tells you you're from Congo, yeah, right? Like you from Congo, you black, you African American, whatever it says, and you have to build out a tree. Well, it was tedious. I closed the app, never thought about it. 2 years later, or a year later, maybe something like that. she buys a ancestry kit. And when she gets the ancestry kit, she's loading it up and putting a tree in, and she's doing this and finding this person and finding this person. And she calls me. She says, "Hey, your ancestry app. Did you ever open? Like, you ever? When's the last time you opened it?" And I said, "I haven't. Like, it's been over a year. Like, I probably haven't 6 months or whatever." She said, "Well, you should open it up. Like, you can set this up and you can do this." I'm like, "All right." So I opened it, and lo and behold, there's a message in there. It's an inbox from this guy, and he says, "I think I'm your brother."
Mm.
If you grew up in my family, that's something that we commonly heard. Like, we've brother, sister, like we just, the family just continues to grow and grow and grow. So it was nothing I had never heard before. So I look at the message and I'm staring at it and I'm just like, okay, I think I'm your brother. What makes you say that? So when you look at the DNA, it says you have the same mother. This the way the DNA load lined up, right? You have to have the same mother because the match was perfect. It was a perfect match. So when I look back at the date, I think Derek had inboxed me like 6 months, 7 months prior to me opening it. So I open the message. I respond back. I'm like, hey, he responds back in like an hour. Because that's just Derek, right? So he responds back in he responds back in like an hour. Yo, man, can I call? Can we get on the phone? I think I'm your brother. And I'm just like, I immediately closed the app. Immediately closed the app. Just because like my soul left my body. Because like, what if this is true? Right. So I think I closed it for like 2 days. I don't even think I opened it. So I opened it back up like with like literally like with an eye open, like, and we're chatting back and forth, and I'm sure some of it is fuzzy. We chatting back and forth, and he was like, "Yo, like, can I what's your full name? Can I find you? Can I follow you on Facebook?" He requested me on Facebook immediately, right? Because Derek has no pause. He's all accelerated. He's all accelerated. So like we're on Facebook, and he's like, "Yo, can you at me on Facebook and let me get onto your page so I can just like see my family?" So I'm like, "Yeah," but I still haven't talked to him, right? So I immediately tell my, couple of people in the family, I'm like, "Hey, so this is kind of what happened. We've kind of been here before, right?" And everybody's laughing. So Shay's on here talking. She said we used to laugh so much about it because we look so much alike. So she's like, "Y'all look alike. You should call him. You should call him." I'm like, "Nah, I'm not gonna call him yet." Right. So long story short, so let me fast forward, right? Um, I don't know. I think it probably is like a year later. I have booked a trip to Atlanta, and the whole purpose of the trip, obviously, we were going to see my one of my aunts who was ill at the time. But we wanted to go visit her. But while I was down there, I wanted to go spend some time and actually physically meet Derek. So we do. I meet him. We go to a restaurant. We sit down at the restaurant. We looking at each other. He looking at me. I'm looking at him. And he could tell the story way better than me. So we order breakfast, and we literally ordered the same breakfast. I think he might have had one thing different than me that was a little off, that was a little different. And we sit down, and these two ladies on the other side of us, it was like, "Hey, can we just real quick, not to interrupt, but you guys are two handsome men." And I looked around like, it was like, what, that's funny. We just met. And we told them the story at the time, right? So hilarious, just the moment. But at the time, I said to him, I said, "Hey, so like a friend of mine happened to work for like social services in New York also. And she said to me, Corey, like, do you want to try to find your mom?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but how do I do that?" And she was like, "Well, listen, I think the governor at the time passed a law around, I think 9/11, again, not 9/11, or yeah, I think 9/11 or the pandemic, where um open or closed adoptions, if the adoptee wanted to find their parents, they would open the case, right? Or they would give you the original birth certificate. So I again, fast forward, I go online, fill out the information, send it off. It's about 9, 10 weeks before I hear anything. One day I go to the mailbox and I think this was prior to me meeting Derek, or maybe it was around or after. Go to the mailbox, just checking the mail one day, and I look at the top of the mailbox on the envelope, and it said New York City, forget what the department of whatever, and records. So I open it up, I look at it. It was the first time I saw your name.
Wow.
It was the first time I saw your name. It was the longest walk from the mailbox to my house. And I kept staring at it and kept staring at it. I put it back in the envelope. I took it back out, stared at it, stared at it. And me and my friend at the time, she said, well, let's try to find her. And I kid you not, I found you on Facebook, but didn't know it was you.
Wow.
Atlantic City, all that stuff you talked about earlier. It said all of that, right? It said all of that, but I didn't know that was you, right? So fast forward, I tell Derek the same thing. I said, hey, this is how I found her. This is how I found her name. He applied. He did the same thing I did. Sent it back. Came back. Same name. Marilyn Goodman. So now we know we related, right? So now we know we related, right? And again, Derek is 100% gas and acceleration. So Derek is on Ancestry. He found, I don't know if it was Nikki or Kamisha, and I'm in a meeting, literally in a meeting, and he calls me. And when Derek calls, or he was texting me at the time, he's not calling to say, yo, did you see the game last night? He's calling because something happened, right? So I answered the phone. I put on the meeting on mute. I'm like, yo, what's up? Yo, I think I found our sisters. How do you know that, Derek? Yo, when you get off the meeting, just call me, man. Just call me. So, long story short, he connected to, I think it was Kamisha, and Nikki at the time. Mimi was, we waited to tell Mimi, right? So we get on a Zoom that night, and we all talking, and I'm just quiet, like I'm sitting on the couch. I don't think I was like sitting upside down. Nikki will tell you, right? Um, and I wasn't really saying too much, and they kind of looking at me like, so, like, what's going on with you, right? And I'm like, I just didn't really know what to say, right? And we made the decision to get together and fly down to Florida to surprise you for your 70th birthday. And we have I think there was a picture that we took on the day that we met, and I think we stepped outside. I think y'all had by the pool, and I think, well, obviously there was the picture that when we first embraced, right?
That's right. Yes.
And I think this is like the first time I saw this picture between that me and you took, um, and wanted to kind of share the picture for everybody. Remember that picture?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So that was the first picture that we took together, and I think at the time that's when we stepped outside just to have the conversation around my birth and things like that. Um, and I think we had a really good time, and I definitely appreciate the time that we shared in Florida. And when we came back, I wanted to ask you, so when we came back from Florida, what were your thoughts like after you in the house with us and we done met? And I know I was kind of like quiet. I didn't really say too much for a little bit. But what were your thoughts? What were going through your mind?
I was scared of you.
Scared of me?
I was scared of you because you didn't talk. I'm like, this guy, I could see right through you. Like, I talked to Derek, and I was like, Derek, is everything good with Corey? Because he ain't saying much, and I'm just not sure. And he and I would talk every day. He's like, everything is good, everything is good. I said, I would ask him questions about you because I was scared to ask you. But I know that when I went to church that Sunday, I just cried and cried and cried and thanked God for us meeting. I thank God for you doing the ancestry for all of y'all. Every last one of you. Not one of my children are exempt from that. I became a new person that day. And as long as I have breath in my body, I am committed to making memories. I cannot make up for anything that I did in the past. I'm looking to just expand on the love that we have for one another. And I think that I all often every morning when I do speak with you guys on our group text, I label it us. Love us. Good morning, us. I love you. So it's been life changing, and believe it, you and Derek, there's not a day that goes by that I don't have something to say with you guys in the conversation or about you. Like my life has changed knowing that I have two sons and three daughters that we literally, you would think we've known each other all our lives, and we haven't.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. Very true. Very
I'm
true.
just grateful. I'm grateful for your mom. Believe me when I tell you, I think that I have no doubt in my mind that both you and Derek were raised by two individuals that gave you more than I could have given you at the time. And thank them both, all four of them, for that. I am forever grateful. And I know more of the Wilkersons than the Thompsons, but I'm learning the Thompsons. I speak with Derek's my aunt every day. In terms of the Wilkersons, I think I probably speak to them more than you speak to them.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
probably true.
But it's just been a ride that I don't want to get off of. And I'm looking forward to us planning a trip with the grandchildren. I started out with three grandchildren, and now I have eight. And my house is full of pictures of them, and I couldn't be more happier.
Yeah, yeah,
Christian called me the other night, just chatting. I love you. Just to like, I can't tell y'all how grateful I am.
yeah. I was laughing because Shay was in the comments. She said that she immediately went to she immediately went to Facebook when we found your name, and yeah, she was all over the place. So I remember those. I remember just those few weeks just in the house, and
Mhm.
I think they were excited but also nervous as well. I remember the first time you came to the house to meet them, and how we were just like sitting around the couch. And I'll put more pictures later on for people to kind of go back and look at, right? But um how we were just kind of laying on the couch, and me and you sat on the floor, and I always sit on the floor,
Yeah,
right? Just sitting on the floor, and people were like taking pictures out here just sitting on the floor, and they were just shocked how cool you were, right? Like you weren't like grandmom. That's why they call you Mom G, right? Like
yeah.
matched, your clothes match, you're a polo fan,
Oh
right?
yes, yes,
Yeah,
sir.
right. You're a polo fan. Um, and I just remember just being thankful because it could go so many different ways,
Mhm.
right? And one of the biggest memories that I remember, just when after you all left, just how my Shay and Christian just sat around was just like they were. I mean, we just kind of like, wow, like what do you do with that, right? And how do we build going forward? And one of the best memories I remember our first Thanksgiving when you met the Wilkerson family.
Yes,
And I don't know if you didn't, I always knew this, but like God showed up on that Thanksgiving. It couldn't have went more perfect. It couldn't have went more perfect. Just how people embraced
yes,
the food, the love that was shared, the pictures that was shared. I think we have one picture where all of us kind of took a picture around the table.
Yes.
Um that
Yes.
was, I think that was the first Thanksgiving we
Yes.
all connected, right?
Yes.
And ain't nobody standing. Everybody's super close together. We laugh. We all, like I said, we all took pictures. Y'all exchanged numbers. I don't think y'all ever stopped talking since then, right?
Not.
Right. And I remember just watching you and my sisters and Darlene and my brother Dow, like, just how y'all all were just sitting around just talking. And Greg, like, I couldn't have made it any better than that Thanksgiving, and we just continue to build from there, right?
Yes.
And I know you said earlier you were scared of me. I don't know why, but I can understand why, because I wasn't saying much of anything. But it was the one time in my life that I made it everything about and took my time with something because of how important it was to me that it went the way that I needed it to go. I needed to embrace you, and I wanted you also to embrace me. And what I can tell you about our relationship today, we went from me not saying much to we speak maybe 4, 5. We speak almost every day, honestly,
We
whether it's
do.
through a phone call or a text message
We
or
do.
Facebook or and about anything. Could be sports, it could be politics, it could be, back and forth to the doctors. It could
Yes.
just sharing inside of just the brothers, the kids, everything. We talk about a little bit of everything. And from me to you, what I want you to know is that you are everything that I ever looked for in a woman.
Oh, wow.
Um, you love me proactively. I don't have to ask for it. I don't have to perform for your love. I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to have a polo shirt on. I can have a t-shirt on if I wanted to. Um, Hair, no, you accept me for everything that I am, and I appreciate you for doing that for me. And here's
Ditto.
the thing, we didn't even, there was no rule book to what we have shared,
Absolutely.
right? So one thing that's undeniable, one, that you my mom, because that's a fact, right?
That's a fact.
And that God is real, and that if you pray on something, he will give you the desires of your heart when it's time for you to have it. Because if I
Yes.
would have met you 10 years ago, who knows, right? If I would have met you just 6 months prior to, who knows, right? So from me to you, from your son to his mother, I love you. I'm grateful for you. Thank you for all the things that you've given me in such a short time. You've changed my life just as I'm sure I've changed yours, and me and Derek have changed yours. And it immediately shaped how I saw relationships, how I see women, how I feel about the confidence in myself. And man, I wish we would have met sooner, right? Um, so we talk about this whole thing about protecting black women. And I've always said that while that's a powerful thing that we always need to do that, it starts with you and women protecting us. And while you've only known me for 4 years, you've carried me for my entire life, and it shows up. So I'm grateful for you. You protect me, and I feel protected. I feel protected when you talk to my children. I don't second guess you. I don't think about, I trust you. And that's
Thank you.
something to say, right? It's something to say when a boy trusts his mother, because
I love you.
one thing's for sure is that a mom can speak life and death into her child, especially her son.
Yes.
And all you've done for me in the past 3, 4 years is speak life into me, right? You will come and you watch my podcast before I can even tell you about it, right? You will call me and say, "Yo, I watched this and you did this and you did that." Every chapter that I post on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're a part of it. You talk about them. Um, just the proactive love. There's something about proactive love that you just can't really teach, right? And one thing that I want, and I'll hand it off to you here shortly, is that um, it's never too late to mend the relationship, right? It could have went another way. you could have not been here. I could have not been here. We could have not found each other. Derek, I could have never opened the app. I could have never got the ancestry kit. All of those things happened for the way that they were supposed to happen because
Yes.
God said so. And I'm grateful to him, and I'm grateful to you. For my sisters, Nikki, Kamisha, Mimi, thank you for loving me, loving Shay and Christian, loving Derek, obviously, right? Thanks. I thank Derek for just keeping his foot on my neck. 'Cause if you know him, he's never gonna let up, and I appreciate him doing that. Because we would talk for just hours on what it's gonna be like and what this could happen and all of those things. And thank you for coming to my podcast. The Rebirth, we did Rebirth Live. I think maybe been a year ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, maybe. Thank you for coming to that and being willing to just show up and represent me well and representing yourself well. Um, so I appreciate it. But one of the things I want to hand off to you real quick, what would be your advice, or how would you want to share with everybody that's watching? There's about 50 people watching. It's been shared. There's a lot of people watching, family, friends. What would be a message that you would give out to everybody?
Trust God, keep the faith, and if you were ever in the position that I was in, make sure that you make the decision for yourself, not for anyone else. And that's pretty much it. God, God has His hands all over this.
Mhm.
I just again want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Wilkerson, Mr. and Mrs. Thompson for raising great men, great men. Me as your biological mother, we certainly have a lot of things in common. Um, again, the polo thing. We were talking the other day, and I was like, "Oh, I got to do my T-shirts. I collect T-shirts," and you was laughing at me because you do the same thing. And Derek's on that cook thing, and I'm just grateful. And again, my advice to anyone is taste and see. God is real. Try Him. I couldn't be more happier. And I got a lot of things going on in my life, health wise and otherwise, but I am the happiest woman in this world. And I love each and every one of my children. Know that unconditionally. They talk about who's the favorite and who's this, and I just need y'all to know that every one of y'all needs something else from me, and I try to offer that what you need from me. I thank you all for your support, your grace, and just supporting mommy, and we're going to continue to make these memories and try to get together and with the grandchildren and everything and just have a good time. So again, my advice to everybody is trust God. He will never leave you or forsake you.
Thank you for that. So a couple of comments. So Deborah Marshall Kemp says, "Can't hardly wait to find my own other family. Blessings." Tydrea, God's timing is perfect. What a blessing. Dejel with the hearts. What other comments we got here? Shay, my daughter, she's in here. Um, Charles Goodman Jr. Definitely has shared a couple of comments. Talking about you polo sock down. That's definitely you. I
Yes.
don't know who has more polo, me or you.
I thought I did, but I think you got me. I think you got me. I
Yeah.
started to wear polo today on purpose, but I was like, no, I just do the little Nike thing. But we
Yeah, I went and
definitely got
changed my shirt. I had a different shirt on. It wasn't polo. I think it was like Tommy or something like that.
right.
I ain't want you to show me up, so I had to go change the shirt.
I literally was gonna put on my polo just to let folk know, hey, we don't need a DNA test. We definitely got it. We got to do that gene. But yes, hey, listen, anybody, please reach out if you will to find your loved one. It will be life changing, and it definitely has completed my life.
Mhm. Right.
I got a lot more to live for, but I'm complete.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
I
We
love you
got a lot. We
guys.
got a lot more memories to make. Teresa said, "Thank you." I think I was looking at some other comments. Teresa said, "Thank you." She's so happy. Thank you. Shay's watching. She says, "We love you, Mom G." Um,
Love you back.
Tons of comments. Tons of comments. So you became more popular tonight.
Oh, there go my boy Dr. Jeff. I can't read what he's saying.
You
That's my
actually
little big
have,
brother too.
yeah, you have cousin Charles Jr. He says so. Yeah, you can see the comments too. Mimi's in
I
here
can't read
anyway.
them because I can't. I see the name, but what did Charles say?
I miss what he said.
You had
He just
Dr.
said he
Jeff
loves
up there.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just said I love you.
yeah.
Melissa said, "What a beautiful story." Um, I mean, I think this was just awesome. So thank you for joining. I know we have been back and forth. I think we were both half nervous. I didn't get nervous till I was driving here to the studio, honestly.
I just
Right?
tried to
Yeah.
just be me today and just
Yeah.
do things. And I was gonna take a nap, but I'm like, nah, I got this. Well, I prayed before we started, and I'm with my best friend upstairs. She prayed with me, and she's still here because she's my IT person. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to make sure somebody was there for you,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for
yes,
sure.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes,
All
yes.
right.
Listen, I love y'all. I just love this, and maybe one segment, it'll be
We're gonna have
all of us.
everybody. Yeah.
I'm about to call, Tyler Perry.
We'll call him. He ain't doing nothing. He ain't doing
Uh,
nothing. Adam.
yeah,
Everybody Adam.
yeah.
Um, so thank you all for joining. Definitely appreciate it. I love you for doing this, and we'll definitely have to do this again with, like you said, with all of us on it, because I'm sure the story will be told a lot of different ways, and everybody gets the chance to see the dynamics between all of us, all five of us. But definitely love y'all. Thank everybody for tuning in. I hope this was something that you can take away, not only for yourselves, but if you walk away with not only some information for you, but just knowing a little bit about me, um, through my ups and downs and all the things, the decisions that I made that were great, decisions that I made that were not so great, whether it's relationships, as a father, as a man. This was a part of my journey, and I look forward to the next chapter of life. And I'm glad that you were part of it. I'm glad that I walk into it with more family, more love, and I look forward to what we're going to do the rest of this year, because it's only June 1st, so we got some barbecues to do and some trips to take. So,
Yes,
all right, one last question before we cut out: Knicks or Spurs? Who you got?
Spurs, Spurs,
Okay,
Spurs all day.
all right, all right, all right. The feed is getting shaky. I don't know if you if you can't hear, you can't see anything going on now that you done said something about the Spurs. Who wants the Spurs to win? Can't do that. We're from the East Coast. We can't do that. Northeast at that. But anyway, we'll see. Nixon five. Nixon five. Well, thank you all for tuning in to Rebirth. Hope you had a good time. Definitely tune in next week. And we love y'all. And hope y'all have a good night. Peace.
Peace. Whew.